All right, peace. What's happening, man? Hey, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. So, this video is called "The Effects of White Supremacy." Now, we all know what white supremacy is. It's the colonization of this whole fucking world, and the systematic racism that has been implemented to maintain that dominance and that supremacy, right? So, um, when I do this, I hope people understand too. It's like obviously the ignorant motherfuckers won't get it, but to people who do have sense, I'd like to assume that even if you are white and you're watching this, that I don't I don't paint with broad strokes. If you understand what I'm saying, nothing is everything. If you understand what I'm saying, so when you watch this, if you are not part of this systematic oppression on people that look like me, then then don't take this. You know what I'm saying? Don't take this as if I'm talking to you. But if you feel like you have been part of it in one way or another, either directly or indirectly, and when I say that, so it's like when you ask yourself that question, what you would ask yourself is, in any way, shape, or form, do I, in any way, shape, or form, do I assist in in the advancement of other races of people who are oppressed through the white supremacist system of doing business, through the white supremacist system of academics, through the the supremacist system of politics. We all know that things are one-sided. So it's either you are for that one-sidedness, which we've been in ever since the origin of this country and a lot of other countries. Um, it's either you are okay with that one-sidedness and you act like, and since it doesn't affect you, you just mind your business, uh, or you're not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just as simple as that. Because if you're in the middle and act like, well, I'm not hurting anybody, I didn't put anybody in slavery. Well, understand that, but you still benefit from the system that has been implemented that did put people in slavery. You understand what I'm saying? So if you benefit from that, you are just as involved as the people who implemented it because you are not doing anything to stop the shit. You understand what I'm saying? So if I was benefiting off the plight of white people and I didn't say anything, I would just be as guilty as the people who are deliberately doing whatever it is. You understand? If I ignore and I benefit off the plight of any other race of people, then I am just as guilty as the people who are implementing the systematic oppression to whatever race that is. So understand that there is no gray area. There is just one side, and then there's the other, and it's either it depends on which side you're on. You got to pick. So, like I said, when I talk about this stuff and when I say white supremacy, I'm not talking about all goddamn white people, because believe it or not, there is a small percentage that understand what I'm talking about and understand the systems that have been put in place to oppress people that look like me in any shade darker or lighter. They understand these things and they use the system against itself. And how do they do that? By creating opportunities uh, within that system for diversity. That's how you eat the system within itself, right? That's how you go into the belly of the beast and you kill it from the inside, right? Is that you create avenues for other for diversity in a system of white supremacy, which is what we have all been currently in. Now, when people, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the times people be like, damn, PZ, like, why, like, what is this all about? Like, why? Y'all need to understand that life for me and for people that look like me is different for the ones where majority of majority of society favors them, right? And when I say that, I mean that in every level of living, um, society favors one race of people, straight up. You know what I mean? And so that's why, especially with this video, I wanted to touch on one aspect of this effect of white supremacy and how detrimental it is. You see, growing up on TV, I seldom saw imagery that reflected what I saw, you know, in my environment, let alone people in my environment. Though few, there were shows that were few and far between where I'm like, damn, that person looks like me, or damn, that dude looks like my dad, or that dude looks like my mom's. You know what I'm saying? Where I can relate. Now, A lot of them, unfortunately, were the stereotypical, kind of perspectives of black people, right? So for the most part, growing up for me, I grew up in the '80s and the '90s, So when I was watching Different Strokes, you know what I'm saying, with what was that little dude's name? Gary Coleman. When I was watching Different Strokes with Gary Coleman, the concept of that shit, yeah, I saw a little black kid look like me, but the concept of it was him and his brother were adopted by some old fucking white dude. That was the concept of the fucking show. So it's like, yeah, I saw a dude that looked like me, but he was in a shitty fucking position. And it's like, even back then, I always wondered why. Like, that's fucking weird. Why the fuck he's living with that white man? But then, in the same part of my head, I'm going, must be nice living with fucking white people. Damn, he get to live like that, and he's adopted. So shit, I need to get adopted by some white folks. A little part of my head would say stupid shit like that. The only reason why is because that kid was, he got to live in this big ass. It was like a hotel. You know what I'm saying? But it was like an apartment, right, in a hotel or some shit. Like they were fucking rich as shit. You know what I mean? Like he had anything he wanted. He had his own room and shit, his own TV. I'm a little kid going, I want that shit too. And the only way I can get it is if I get adopted by a fucking white man. I mean, it's that serious. I'm not saying when I was a kid I was wishing I was getting adopted by a white man, but what it did was put the seed in my head that living with them is nicer. Living with them is more comfortable, even though you're away from all your family and everything, that is you. So that shit, it fucks with little kids' heads. It really does. It fucked with mine. It fucked with mine. Like, hell, a lot of shows. Like, I mean, I can think about, like, even watching, like, the Saved by the Bells, right? It's like Lisa Turtle. There was Lisa Turtle. That was it. That was it. Lisa, and the crazy thing is, too, Lisa was the baddest one out of all of them. Yet she never got that type of shine, ever. Like Lisa Turtle, Lark Voorhees was fine as beautiful. No makeup, no nothing. Fine as hell. But like I said, they were all over that one chick, the white girl, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and Zach Morris. I forgot his real name, and Mario Lopez. Those were you know what I'm saying? Those were the key players of the show. Those are the posters that were up everywhere. I try to find me a goddamn Lisa Turtle poster. I never found one. I wish I could. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that these things, and then on top of that too, it's like look at the goddamn cast. You got one black girl out of that whole fucking crew. You know what I mean? It's like it was always a poor representation of us. And then if there was a representation of us, not only was it distasteful, but then we were always outnumbered in regards to cast too. There was always there was one of us, or maybe two. And that was it. You know? And so it's like I'm grateful for like the Wayans brothers. Thank God they made some comedy that was us. You know what I'm saying? And obviously this was in the '90s, the Wayans brothers. I'm grateful for the Martins. Without the Martins, I wouldn't be shit. Without Living Singles, I wouldn't be shit. I learned a lot about um, our us in different social levels. Like when I was watching Living Singles and the Martins and you know what I'm saying, like the Fresh Prince. You know what I mean? Like when I used to watch those shows, I was like, damn, like we can live good too. Like we can live good too. Like that gave me that impression. And so I know that if you see imagery of yourself doing good is not only confident boosting, but it gives you a perception, a general perception of your people and who looks like you. So, but see, my point is this though: when I watch Will Smith, right after goddamn Will Smith, it'd be a bunch of other shit, right? It'd be a bunch of other shit. It's like why was there just one Will Smith when Will Smith was out? Like why as much as there was many fucking Zach Morris's and uh, Beverly Hills 90210s and all that. Why wasn't there a bunch of Fresh Prince of Bel Airs out that were like that? Like they really besides Fresh Prince, Yeah, that was really it. That was really it. I can't think of anything else. You know what I'm saying? So my point is this imagery does a lot to the psychology, and most importantly, you got to ask yourself who's making the decisions of projecting whatever imagery. You understand what I mean? You gotta you gotta think about it going. So who's making these decisions to put out these shows, right? And then you gotta ask yourself who are they putting these shows out for? So at the end of the day, it's like the reason why there wasn't a bunch of Will Smith shows when Will Smith was doing it and he was like the coldest. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why there wasn't a bunch of Martins and they came out later, way later, is because it's like they were looking at it going, these shows, majority of these shows that we're doing are not for y'all to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now, The Bachelor, shit ain't for you. That shit ain't for you. This year they try to make it for us. They threw the first one on there, the first Black Bachelorette, which is cool, But like I said, it's still. I want to. I mean, I guess y'all can call it progress. I don't. I don't call it progress. That show been on goddamn 20 years, and then the 21st year, y'all throwing a black person. You want to call that progress? Nah. All right, that's not progress to me. That's not progress to me. So, what I want to do is, um, the reason why these things are the way they are is because we have to understand that the uh, the original intent of even all of us being in the same space was based on negative intentions, and that's the reason why even the TV, the media, the entertainment, project they don't project accurate reflections of the people who are being entertained. They only project a one-sided perspective of entertainment. That's why when you watch these shows, you only see a certain demographic of people that are shown in the show, right? When you watch the ETs, when you watch the goddamn the what you call it, like all the Modern Families and all them shit, it's like, yeah, you'd like to assume that's for everybody, but like I said, the only time I feel like when things are for everybody is when they include the people that might be watching it. So if it's for everybody, then there should be a goddamn Indian in it. The guy should be a this or that because all them type of people might be watching it. Now I'm not saying every fucking show has to be the super multicultural, but y'all should damn sure try to balance shit out, right? It's like, do y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's like, do they make movies specifically going, um, well, I know they do. When they do these commercials, they think about, should we make this a mixed couple to appeal to both households? You see what I'm saying? Should we make this lingerie with a tan woman or what to appeal to both markets? So that this is all this stuff is conscious when they do their target marketing. You know what I mean? But my point is that, like I said, it's all one sided though. It's all one sided. You know, you watch them the Real Worlds and Road Rules. Uh, it's you'll see goddamn Leroy and Tyrone, and then there'll be 15 Tommies and Jakes and Bobbies, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like they had to make a goddamn College Hill just because we really wasn't watching Real World and the Road Rules and all that shit because it's not geared for us. It's not geared for us. It's only geared for people who they want to watch, which is, like I said, it's the people that they put on the TV. So when you watch a show and you see the people that are in the cast of the show, if those people look a certain way, those are the people they want to attract to the show. You'd like to assume it's everybody, but if it is, then you would see a more balanced cast and you would see a lot more balanced shows that reflect the diversity of people that are watching these shows. You understand? That's what you would do. That's what you would do. Unless it's like you're trying to be historically accurate, in regards to some show. But at the end of the day, that's what you would do. You see what I'm saying? Um, trying to think of a show that just that has a large cast of variety. Trying to think of one. I mean, it's hard. It's really, oh, what's it called? See, even I like watching what's it called? Precinct the 99. It's an Andy Samberg with Terry Crews. Like it's like I like that show. It's funny, but then even when I watch it, I'm like, the only black dude in that motherfucker is Terry Crews. Like and yes, that shit makes me feel weird. It makes me feel weird. It makes me feel the same way when I walk into Walmart and I'm the only motherfucker in that bitch that looks like me. It's that same type of you don't feel it makes you feel like you were an outsider, like basically, right? It makes you feel like you're an outsider, straight up. So that's what I'm saying is that's just for me. I feel like it's just letting me know that this shit ain't for me. It's like they don't make the Bachelor show, and the ones with they don't make them shits for me. They don't make them shits for black women neither. Yeah, I mean they don't do that shit for them. The only time they started to is when, like I said, they put the first black woman on there. Is because they're going, hey, black women, y'all want to watch? We'll put a black woman on. That's when you want to entertain to a different demographic of people. So the thing about it is, um, the the mentality of that is what's important. That's why for me, I always try to go back to the beginning in regards to it. It's like, well, how did we even get to this place? You see, even the concept of colonization is a certain type of mentality that is exuded, right? And that's a mentality of it's a barbaric mentality, to be honest, when you think about it, because all it is saying I'm just going to take what I want, right? I mean, that's really what it is. It was so prevalent within the Europeans specifically is in the Spaniards. They even nicknamed themselves conquistadors. You know what I'm saying? And we all know conquistadors. You see the root word. I mean, the root. What is the prefix of the word of conquistadors, and that's conquer, right? And so we know what conquering means. Conquering is coming through, and you take authority, which is a form of oppression, right? So you come in and you impede on the current law or authority that is on that land. You come in, and you say, I don't give a fuck, I'm taking everything. You see what I'm saying? So that mentality alone, like I said, it's to me, it's clear why when we watch TV, it's one sided. It's because it's still that same mentality of conquering. So it's like even in entertainment, we will have a conquering dominance, right? In politics, we will have a conquering dominance. In economics, we will have a conquering dominance. You see what I'm saying? Like every aspect of social living, they have a conquering dominance on every race of people, right? And every other culture of people, right? The only way of perceiving, the only way of communicating, the only way of even quote unquote spirituality is all conquered and dominated by the Europeans, right? It's either a Judea way of looking things, or Christian way of looking things, or an Arab way of looking things. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying is that to me, I see it in such an overwhelming extent now. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to watch TV because I'm constantly seeing imagery that I don't connect with, that I don't correlate with, I don't associate with. You know what I mean? It's like the little 5% that I do see, I connect with that. When I watch Blackish, I connect with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, but then when I start, it's like even when I was watching, what was that shit called? What was that show called? The Carmichael Show. I liked it, but it was just too. It was too. They were trying real hard to be edgy, but they were trying to push a certain type of outlook, and I don't think it worked too well. But one thing's for sure is our perception on TV is not controlled by us because we have few shows on these national syndicated shows on the NBCs, the ABCs. Uh, it's good to see. it's good to see that one show, the Scandal, where there's a powerful black woman at a, at a lead role. It's that's beautiful to see, and even that show is written and directed by a black woman. That's great to see. That's great to see. But for people to assume that I should be happy about that when there's only her is, like I said, is just showing more of how dominant and controlling and is the system is because motherfuckers look at me going, you should be happy. You should be happy there was a goddamn, there was a black bachelorette. Why are you tripping? Because there's been goddamn 20 goddamn years of that shit, and on the 21st year, there should have been 10 years of white girls, 5 years, 6 years of black girls, 5 years, 6 years of Mexicans, another 10 years of China. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I wouldn't be tripping. But don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me to calm down when y'all just put one of us up there as if that one of us represents all of, the majority of y'alls that are monopolizing and controlling the majority of, shows, TV shows and sitcoms and you fucking name it. You know what I mean? So, the day I see an NBC, a news outlet that is fully run by a different demographic of people, then even the news I'll take a little more serious. But the MSNBCs, the CNNs, and all that shit, it's all run by a certain type of people, and none of them. Number one, they all look the same, and none of them look like me. So all that information is controlled, right? All the serious information in the news is controlled. And then when you look at the entertainment aspect, like I said, the biggest ones you see is um, what's that lady's name? I forgot her name, Chandra something. But the lady who does the Scandal, what Oprah, right? Um, the lady who does a HBO show, I forgot her name, but she's dope. You know what I'm saying? But all these people, I'm just what? There's like three. What I mean, what Tyler Perry? Goddamn, what? Eight? I mean, so what? There's three. There's four. So how many of them can I name? I could go on and on with all the goddamn shows they got. Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 9, or the NBCs, ABCs, CBSs from Monday to Friday. Big Bang Theory, they milking the shit out of that Big Bang Theory thing. So I'm just saying, there's a difference. There's a difference, and you see the thing too. The language alone was used as a form of colonization, just because of the fact that majority of movies, it's like the cool guy. That's what you spoke, right? You even see it in third world countries where they're still watching Charles Bronson or some shit, Steven Seagal, like right now, they still watching that shit, right? Because that's what the rest of the world's watching, and if you're not watching it, then you ain't part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? You see, if you don't submit, if you don't submit to the culture, the ones around you who already submitted will will let you know that you are behind, right? And so um, basically, it's almost instilling and indoctrinating the same way that they were indoctrinated in regards to winning the white girl at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like the college, the college American Pie movies, that type of culture. Uh, it's like if you don't know that shit or if you don't watch them shits, then you ain't part of the shit, right? Because that became the culture. You see what I'm saying? So it's either you kind of join in on the on the one sidedness. It's either you join in on the one sidedness or you die straight up. It's like the love and hip hops. All they're doing is emulating the reality shows, the real worlds, and all them other shits. You know what I'm saying? That's all they're doing. So they're just getting in on the action now, to where um, now the only kind of, not even the only, but the majority of perceptions of us now are not only shitty, but there are only perceptions that are just out to get a paycheck. So they're willing to do and say anything in front of the camera, right? As opposed to something like, um, something like what I just named, like Blackish. You know what I mean? Or like I can't even think. Like a lot of these shows, they're so fucking corny. Like I can't even think of like a really like credible reality show in regards to, you know what I'm saying, with black folk. I can't even think of one. Like, I can't even think of like a really good, credible, like all them shits is just ratchet and corny as shit. You know, everybody's trying to fight, and even, you know, they'll even have these shows where it's like it's a bunch of doctors and all of them get to arguing over stupid shit. And that's what the show's about. It's not about saving lives. It's not about going into, you know, impoverished neighborhoods and helping. No, it's just about fucking arguing the whole goddamn time. So it's like, for me, that's not progression. That's just getting a buck. That's like an NBA player playing. You know what I mean? Knowing damn well that he will never have a chance to own a team. That's, to me, that's what that is. You know, it'd be hard. Like if I could play the NBA, it'd be hard knowing that I could play and I'm in it, knowing that. And when I retire, these motherfuckers won't let me buy shit. Even while I'm playing, like they won't let me buy shit. Like I can't buy in. You know what I mean? It's like that shit would be hard. It'd be hard as fuck to know that, because I'd like to assume most NBA players know that. I'd like to assume as much money as they have, they know they can't go buy a team. They know they can't go own a team. They know that. I know they do. They have to, because I know that LeBron can't own he LeBron can't own no Cavaliers. As much money as he has, he still can't own one. They won't let. They barely let Michael Jordan own the goddamn team. What makes you think they're gonna let even Kobe don't even own a goddamn team? There's not one NBA player who owns 60% of an NBA team. Not one. As many as they are been playing, making billions, not one. So that's my point, is that to know that shit, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch football games knowing that nobody looks like me owns not one of them teams, knowing damn well majority of us are the ones running around in that field making that money and making those badass touchdowns, and getting the fucking coach a ring, and getting that city a title, and yet he can't even go own half of that team or majority of a team or go somewhere else to go own a team. All he's good for is running up and down that field. That's it. That's it. The Deion Sanders, the Emmett Smiths, you name them. Them motherfuckers don't own shit. They don't own no. They don't own no fucking football team. No nothing. And could you imagine how much money they generated for them teams? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm pointing out. Is that it's hard to watch this shit. It's hard to watch college football games, knowing that majority of the schools that are playing, um, from head coach positions, you know, to even presidents of those schools, none of them reflect majority of the people on that field. None of them. None of them. As many black players that have played in OU, has there ever been a black coach at OU? No. Has there ever been a black president for at the school OU? No. So uh, for me, it's that evident, and for me, it's that, you know, that shit's hard to ignore. It's hard to miss. When I was young, like I said, I was trying to be down, right? Because that was the way to be. You know, you get in where you fit in. That's what everybody's doing, type shit. But like I said, when I started seeing these differences, I've been feeling these differences, but then I started noticing these differences, and then that's when, like I said, it's more than what meets the eye, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So the television was the greatest weapon, you know, in regards to spreading the propaganda of Western civilization. It was That was the greatest tool of controlling people's temperament, of controlling people's attitudes, their wants, their needs, their fears, their happiness, their spirituality, their entertainment. It was the best way to control all that shit. Let me give you a great example. Y'all remember 9/11 when they did that color scale grid for, like, you know what I'm saying, for like emergency. It was like an emergency color scale grid where obviously like the red means we're at terror alert, right? And then the green means everything's gravy. So When they threw green out there, that controlled your psyche and your composure by being calm, right? Because they threw green out there. And then when they throw red out there, we're packing and we're getting the goddamn survival kits. We're getting extra gas. Motherfuckers is flipping out. There could have been nothing going on, but just because they threw that color red up there, boom, now you waking the fuck out. If there's a storm coming, storm ain't even came yet, and they're telling you it's gonna be a serious fucking storm. You know what I'm saying? Duck down, get into your storm shelters, do whatever, get your waters, blah, 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 blah. There's a frenzy. There's a frenzy. Why? Is because of the propaganda box that's telling you how to react and how to be, right? You need to get your shit together. Y'all need to hurry up, da, 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 boom, boom, boom. And then let's say that storm, let's say that motherfucker dies down and nothing happens. They'll get back on and go, hey, y'all, everybody's cool. No, don't worry about it. The storm died down. And guess who's cool again? You. You. So understand that even right now, me talking and you watching the screen, I am trying to, I'm trying to modify your thinking. I'm trying to affect your thinking. You watch these boxes. That's all that's going on is a battle for your attention. That's why when you pay attention, they're telling you it costs. Your attention costs something. It means something and so when it costs something, that means there's a level of value to it, right? And there's a level of value to it that means it means something. Your attention means something. That's why when I do these videos, I'm doing them so because your attention means something, right? So understand that, not only does the government know this, but also the entertainment world knows this. And every other, business that uses the TV as a propaganda machine, as a way to influence. They all know this. They all know that if you throw the color red on there, it's going to get people excited or it's going to make people at attention, right? They know if you throw the color green or blue, that y'all going to be calm and lively, yellow, live. You know what I'm saying? They know this shit. They know this shit. They know this. Certain type of music. That's why, like I said, I always use McDonald's. Throw a McDonald's commercial on there. You get McDonald's in 10 minutes. You getting McDonald's in 10 minutes. They're going to throw a McDonald's commercial. You're going to see a Victoria's Secret commercial on there. Guess who you're going to be grabbing some lingerie for? Or who's going to tell you to go grab them some lingerie or some bullshit, right? I'm just saying, like, this is what the shit does. This is what the shit does. That's what it's for. That's what a commercial's for, because they want you to go buy some shit. That's what a movie's for, because they want you to watch some shit, right? That's why a horror movie's for, because they want you to get scared of some shit, right? That's what a goddamn romantic comedy's for, because they want you to laugh and feel lovey-dovey. That's what these are modes of affecting this. Because when you affect this, then it affects what you see, and then it affects how you feel. And then ultimately it will affect how you act, right? And how you perceive the rest of the world. So if you only see images that look like you, then you will look at the world in a very, very naive way, because you will assume anything and everything is just like the movies because it looks just like you. That's why a lot of people, they go, it looks just like the movies, because that's the first thing you're going to compare it to. That's the first thing you compare it to. It looks just like the movies. That's the first thing you compare shit to is the propaganda box, because the majority of us spend our times watching it and being influenced one way or another, right? One way or another. So we have to understand that television, it was the greatest weapon in regards to manipulating and modifying perception and attention. You see what I'm saying? And so specifically for me, why I'm doing this video is because, growing up, and when I think about it too, see, I grew up, when I was young, I grew up in a, completely black neighborhood growing up. And then when I was about 11, I moved into a white suburb, right? Where I was around white people, like a lot, because I lived all around them. But one thing that is consistent in both times of my life is the entertainment was always westernized. The entertainment never reflected what I look like, right? When we would watch movies when I was a kid, a lot of the movies we watched, like the Eddie Murphy movies and all that shit, it's like Eddie Murphy would be the lead, but everybody around him was a white guy, right? So it's like we knew that there was something special about Eddie Murphy. That's why he's got to be there. But still gave me the feeling going, why is he the only motherfucker there that looked like me? That, you know, it was still strange. It was still showing you going, for some reason, he's a special one. You know what I mean? At least for me, that's how it came across. But uh, like I said, even the Indiana Joneses and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see nobody that looked like us watching them type of doing them type of roles, having that much adventure and and courageousness and heroism. Uh, there was nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, so growing up, when I watched the Indiana Joneses and all them shits, you know what I'm saying? Like, I idolized the Harrison Fords just as much as Little White Boy because that's what I thought was. I was like, damn, then them motherfuckers run around and get to do all that type of shit. They're all in Africa. They're running around and they're digging in tombs and they're saving white women, and you get to win the white woman at the end of the movie. I guess that's how it go. Like when you get older, that's what it is. You win a white woman. You don't win one of yours. That's not the trophy. The trophy is the white woman because you got to save her, right? You see, so it's like all that shit. Like I said, it fucks with your psyche because for me, it's hard to go. It's hard for me to really understand if the like the white girls I dated. Did I date them truly and genuinely because I like them for who they are, or did I date them because of a certain perception that I've had about them based on what I've seen about them. You see what I'm saying? Like the reason why to me they seem so exotic is because they were always on TVs and they were all over the place. So it's like it was like almost a thing to get, a thing to strive for, right? But then that's what I'm saying. It's like, was it that, or did I just genuinely like the chick, or was it because I was just surrounded by them and the imagery? I was surrounded by them physically and I was surrounded by them mentally, to where it's like, no, that's what you go grab your cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you need to get you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's hard to figure that out. It's hard to figure that out, and it's unfortunate that um, I have to play that tango with myself mentally, just because, like I said, of the systematic control of imagery, the systematic control of entertainment, the systematic control of all this shit, all levels of society, where it makes me go, damn, a lot of things that I've liked, right? A lot of things that I preferred. Did I prefer them because I genuinely liked them, or was it because I was almost kind of manipulated to liking those things, or was I kind of coerced to like those things based on what I've seen, right? Because everything you see, you'll definitely soak it in, and you will live it out one way or another, right? You will implement it into your life one way or another. So a scary movie, like you watch a scary movie, it's either you get scared of ghosts, or it's like you like it. You know what I mean? So you watch them all the goddamn time. But one thing's for sure, it affects you, right? Because you watched it. It's either it scares the shit out of you and you never watch that shit again, or you like it and you watch some shits all the goddamn time, right? So definitely everything you see affects you, especially at a young age. So that's why for me it's hard to differentiate whether I'm saying, like I was feeling the white girls I dated growing up because I just liked them, you know what I'm saying, or was I feeling them just because uh, the movies and everything else was feeling them too. I mean, that's real shit. Like, it's hard. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Some of them were nice, and of course, like, we had some good relationships, this and that. Like, you know what I mean? But even them, did they like me because of the imagery they've seen of me and it looked like something tempting? Did they, you know what I'm saying? Did they like me because I was something different that would make their fucking daddy trip out? Pretty sure that was probably a reason or two for some of them. Or just like I said, it was something that was exotic and different to them, right? Or to them they got the drug dealer vibe or the gangster vibe or the danger vibe. Or, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Some I'd like to assume so, just because I can kind of read who the fuck they are, right? some girls, they just like fucking drama, right? Or they like street dudes or whatever the hell it is. They like musicians or whatever. But but yeah, but some of them were like I had genuine relationships with them. A lot of times, what majority of relationships I had with white women, what stopped them was racial difference, cultural difference. That's what stopped all of them. Majority, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. At least when I was mature enough to understand the shit, yeah, it was definitely what put a stop to a lot of shit was because of the racial indifference, right? The racial or the cultural difference, where they looked at the world in a systematic, in a white supremacy systematic type of way because they benefit from it, right? So a lot of people they benefit from it, don't even realize it, nor do they give a fuck who's not benefiting from it, right? So um, that's my point. So it's like, was I forced? Was I forced to like? Was I forced to like white women? But not forced, but was I manipulated? Was I affected by the imagery? And I'd like to assume so to a certain extent, but obviously, we all make our own decisions. But like I said, I'd like to assume majority of it was more of an imagery driven type of infatuation. Uh, I'd like to assume so, just because, like I said, just because it's always every single time that I ever got into it, it's like when it came to difference of culture and race, those things were always they would come up, and when they came up, it was never uh, it was never like a super positive outcome, right? It was never. It was always like a damn. Also, that's how you really think, or damn, that's really how you are type shit. Like it was always like that. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work out for some people. Some people it will work out because some people either understand, and like I said, they either understand and they use the system against itself, or the one that's inferior is benefiting from the system and they don't give a shit, right? They're just going, well, my family's good, so that's all I need to worry about, or their family likes me, and that's all I need to worry about. So you just make your world smaller when the rest of the world doesn't like what y'all are doing. So then it makes it seem okay that way, right? When you just only deal with the few that are okay with what y'all are doing, or not even okay, they just put up with it. Because a lot of them they just put up with the interracial marriages and the interracial kids because they can't take the shit back, right? So a lot of them just put up with it. So so did the overwhelming imagery of white women affect me? Like I said, I like to assume so to a certain extent. But I also obviously feel like there has been some genuine relationships throughout my past with white women. But unfortunately, majority of them, 90% of them, they ended because um, of the difference of not even just race. I mean, not even just culture of race, the difference of race. And what I'm just saying, not just saying just because we're different, it's that they saw things in the in that colonizing kind of way. You know, I remember one time I got in an argument with this chick I was dating. She tried to tell me that racism doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? It's like when she said that shit, it's like I remember getting out the car and I was like, hey, it was really nice knowing you type shit. Like I can't fuck with you at all. Can never talk to you ever again. I can't fuck with you. Like you don't even make sense. And I've known this chick for years, and she said that shit to me. At least I thought I knew her for years. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's not obviously. I'm not trying to generalize all relationships, interracial relationships. I'm not. But my point is that what I'm talking about, I'm sure does come up in y'all's relationships, and it's either you ignore it or you point out the bullshit. And it's just either way. It's either you ignore it or you point out the bullshit with your husband or your wife, and you go, "No, I see the indifference. I see, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one or the other, But I'll be damned if an interracial couple gonna tell me that it's not that it's all good, but the fact that it's like to for her. A lot of times when I see that, it's like the woman either is not talking to her family no more at all, or she thinks she's black and she, you know what I'm saying, she acts hood as fuck. It's either one of those two. It's either she ain't fucking with her family no more because of him, you know what I'm saying, because she married him, or they put up with it just because now they got kids, they got grandkids that are half black, but they, you know, they love the white side. You know, it's either it's one of them three. It's either the parents just put up with it, or she don't talk to her family no more, or she thinks she's goddamn black. She runs around talking super hood and she's a white lady. It's one of them three. At least I think. God damn it. For real, at least I think. But also just the perception of white women perceived as trophy wives, you know, is also, like I said, is was a very prevalent kind of way of looking at things growing up. At least around my area, at least around where I was at, you know, in the suburbs I was at. So, and in TV, that's kind of what it was too. You know what I mean? It's like majority of the TV shows, it was all some fine ass wife, right, with some hag, right, from the Love and Marriages, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the what you gonna call it, Full Houses, whatever, for, you know what I'm saying, all them shits, you know what I mean. And then also, like, when you think about it too, like uh, the Sports Illustrated, you know what I'm saying, Sports Illustrated, and um, there wasn't a bunch of there wasn't Sports Illustrated. Tyra Banks was probably, you know, the only one I can think of. Maybe Naomi Campbell. I don't know if she was in Sports Illustrated, but still, it's just there were few and far between. Growing up, that's shit we all were dying to, you know, run to the mailbox and get, or you know, your white homeboy had a Sports Illustrated. But like I said, you knew who they were targeting, even in shit like that. And the best we had was Jet magazine, which was cool, you know, but Jet wasn't as prevalent as Sports Illustrated. It was big. Jet was big. Don't get me wrong. Jet was big. I remember Jet Beauty of the Week. I used to look for that shit like a motherfucker. Loved it. You know what I'm saying? Playboy, same shit. Playboy was a culture. Um, Hugh Hefner was cool somewhat, but like I said, like if he showed more of girls that looked like me when I was growing up, that would have been a cool motherfucker. If I would have loved to seen a lot more naked black women in your magazines growing up. That would have been cool. Well, he's dead, so I'm talking to a dead man. But that's my point: is that a lot of this imagery wasn't focused on people that looked like me. So I was, it was different. You know what I'm saying? I was idolizing that shit. You know, um, even if you think about it, even in porn, you know, even in porn, it's like it's just nowadays. It's like you see like a somewhat of a wide variety of black women now, just because now porn production is real cheap. But still, it's like growing up watching pornos and shit. Remember white women we used to watch goddamn porno. You know, like you saw. When the first booty talks I saw was a booty talk. Yeah, first booty talk I saw was I was a grown fucking man. You know what I mean? Like so, all this, like I said, even when it comes to uh, just even sex, you know what I mean? It's like the white woman is always looked at like she's more sexual. She'll do it all. You know what I mean? And that is the perception that was taken. That was what was given on the propaganda box, the TV, and that's what was accepted. You know? So, like I said, I'd like to assume these things had an effect on me when I walked outside and I saw a white girl. I said, God damn, she like that one in that porno. I bet she act the same way. You know? And sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Uh, okay, so yeah, and then most importantly, the damsel in distress mentality. You know, that also was a great way of perpetuating the trophy wife type of thing, right? It's almost like that's what came after. And it was like a damsel in distress type of movies where you save her, and then she becomes the trophy wife. And then now it's like trophy wife. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't save her now you get to show her off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was, and a lot of movies, that's kind of what was going on. The Michael Douglases and you know what I'm saying, the Steven Seagals and the Jean Claude Van Dammes, and that's the shit I grew up on. Even Bad Boys. Remember Bad Boys? They were saving the white woman. Will and Martin was saving that skinny white lady. There was no Gabrielle Union or some chick. They were saving a white woman in goddamn Bad Boys. I couldn't believe that shit. They were saving a white chick. You know? And then it's like another thing too is when I really when I think it's beyond fucked up, it's like the entertainment shit is fucked up as it is, right? But what's beyond fucked up is when they start taking historical events and start twisting them and putting their imagery on there and then depicting that as truth. Because a lot of times what people do is when they watch these goddamn movies, they're gonna assume that these people um, are correlating right their visuals with the actual story. You know what I mean? So for example, a lot of the movies back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, Elizabeth Taylor was fucking what's her name? Elizabeth Taylor was Cleopatra, right? Instead of grabbing like a woman that looked close to that ethnicity back then, they grabbed her. So now, could you imagine the perception of Elizabeth Taylor after she became Cleopatra? And then, could you imagine anybody that watched that who never knew the real Cleopatra? Could you imagine now what imagery will they hold firm in their head of what Cleopatra looked like when, in all actuality, Cleopatra didn't look close to that shit. It was the opposite color. You see what I'm saying? So that's how detrimental uh, using inaccurate information and using inaccurate imagery when it comes to information, right? Especially when it comes to historical information. A lot of these movies, they always portray Jesus as a hippie white dude. So now anytime, and then not even just in movies, but in Bibles and any type of fucking pictorials or stained glass window, he looked like some hippie dude from the 70s, right? So some dude in Africa who's never heard or seen Jesus, and then the first thing they see is some movie of Jesus or some picture, million, some picture of the so-called Jesus, and it's some white dude. So his perception and his imagery of Jesus will always be what was given to him, when in all actuality it wasn't even the true depiction. And that is the problem, is that these things are modified and manipulated, and they affect people's perceptions of everything, right? Of everything, whatever it's addressing, they will affect that part of your conclusion. So we have to understand that this is, like I said, folks, it's a war. You know what I'm saying? It's a real war. But now I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all something real quick. I'm about to sign off on you, but I want to show y'all something real quick. Um, I wanted to show you the difference in regards to why I feel like the manipulation is as strong as it is. Okay? I want to show y'all this real quick. I want to show y'all this real quick. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. Boom. All right, so this is what I'm trying to show y'all. So this, what y'all looking at here is, that's the most beautiful people, but let me scroll up real quick. I'm gonna show y'all this right here. You see this right here? You see this right here is the most beautiful, what's the sexiest man alive, based on the People magazine. So my point is that this is the imagery that has been shown, and I don't know who voted on this shit, but like I said, this is what, when they put this shit out, they tell the world who they deem the sexiest man alive. And so you would like to assume what happens after that for these men, right? And how their perception, how they're perceived after being deemed the sexiest man alive by I don't know who. But like I said, it wasn't people who looked like me too. It wasn't. I don't remember us voting on the sexiest anything uh, when it comes to any of these shits. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was the sexiest women or people or whatever. I don't even know who does this, but I know damn well that they don't look like us. The reason why is because majority of people that they deem attractive, it's always people that look like them. It's always it's not a diverse perception of beauty within all the demographics of races that live here. It's not, and it's that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's so apparent to where you wonder why. It's like um, it's like the white man is looked at in such a stature, right? It's like you wonder. It's like you don't. I Some people wonder why, but I don't, because right here is is proof of how entertainment tells you how, tells you to think of them as sexy. It tells you to deem them as attractive. Why? Is because they're saying that's what everyone is voting on, and that's what everybody concluded, when in all actuality it was just maybe 20, 30 white dudes or white women that voted on this shit, and now it's law, right? Because People magazine said so, and People magazine is, fortunately, they can distribute worldwide, even to third world countries. So it's like, can you imagine in 1985 when they said Mel Gibson was the sexiest man alive? Could you imagine what the perception of the white man was in 1985, when where a magazine that has mass distribution of imagery to everyone all over the world, all levels of society? Could you imagine what the conclusion of Mel Gibson's, how people perceive Mel Gibson after that issue came out? Can you imagine? And then just subconsciously, women, how more attracted were women when that came out? All races of women. How more attracted were all races of women to Mel Gibson in 1985, when some magazine, trying to act like a collective of people, have deemed this man the most attractive man in the world? See, so my point is that this is not only effective strategy of conditioning and indoctrinating a certain type of perception, but it's very apparent that they want you to deem a certain type of people the sexiest alive, because their magazine is mass produced more than anybody else's. Um, and it's Jet. I remember with Jet magazine, that had Beauty of the Week. That Beauty of the Week. Not no goddamn the most beautiful woman in the world. And if they did, we would all voted on it. Goddamn it, we would all voted on it. And if we're talking about the most beautiful, the sexiest man, we're talking about everyone, right? Or is this, to me, this is not the sexiest man alive. This is the sexiest white man alive, because there's no other race that's in this competition. The only race that's in this competition is white men. So it's not the sexiest people alive or the sexiest man alive. It's the sexiest white man alive. You know what I'm saying? So let's go down the list: Mel Gibson, Mark Harmon, Harry Hamlin, John F. Kennedy, Sean Connery, Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Nick Nolte, Richard Gere, Cindy Crawford, all white folks. Keanu Reeves, Brad Pitt. Oh, we got one, Denzel Washington. Like, I'm supposed to be happy. I just named fucking 10 white people, and I named one of us, and I'm supposed to be fucking happy, right? George Clooney, Harrison Ford, Richard Gere, Brad Pitt, Pierce, all white folks. Ben Affleck, Johnny Depp, Jude Law, all white folks. All these years, this is what you're supposed to deem sexy as fuck, right? Matthew McConaughey, George Clooney, Matt Damon, Hugh Jackman, Johnny Depp, Ryan Reynolds, all fucking white folks. Channing Tatum, Adam Levine, Chris Hemsworth, David Beckham, Dwayne Johnson. He don't count. Either way, there's two of us out of fucking what, 30? Still, Dwayne Johnson, y'all can have him. He's one of y'all anyway. He's not one of us, nor does he want to be one of us. Blake Shelton, uh, like I said, it's it's just evident. It's just showing you right there, plain and simple, how they want you, what they want you to deem sexy, what they want you to deem sexy. And man, luckily for us, we got 96, right? For 1996, they wanted y'all to deem Denzel Washington sexy, but then they took that shit right back in 97. Same, like, this right here would be President Obama. These are all goddamn. This is Bill Clinton. There's Bush, and Bush again, and then boom, President Obama, and then back to the bullshit. Back to the bullshit. All right, let's go to sexiest women. Most beautiful people. So when they say most beautiful people, I like to assume they mean all races, right? I mean, that's what you like to assume. So then why every time the most beautiful people winner is only one fucking race? Well, that's because they want you to let you know that only one race is deemed as fucking beautiful in majority of this fucking world, and this is what you should deem as beautiful. Michelle Pfeiffer in 1990, that's what you should have deemed as beautiful. I could, man, 1990, man, I'm trying to think, what was popping in 1990? What was popping in 1990? God damn, that was a long time ago. I know Michelle Pfeiffer was not what was popping in 1990. I know that. I know she was not the hottest thing out in 1990. Julia Roberts too. She pretty, but she ain't that goddamn pretty. Jodie Foster looked like a dude half of the time. Cindy Crawford, they just give her the shit just because she's a goddamn model. But like I said, these are supposed to be the most beautiful people in the world. But then there's so many other beautiful people in the world that I don't even think they were even in this running because there's only one side of people that are winning in this beauty contest. What we got? We got Halle Berry in 2003. They threw us. That's that Denzel Washington. That's that one, right? So we got Courtney Cox, Mel Gibson got it again. Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michelle Pfeiffer, Julia Roberts, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Nicole Kidman, Halle Berry, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts. And to be honest with you too, when it comes to Halle Berry, um, Halle Berry never had any lead black man co-starring with him. They always put her with white men. Why? Is because Halle Berry was light enough to be perceived as a white woman, and that's why she was somewhat accepted. But to be honest, I still don't think she was accepted because if you think about it, she never had an A-list actor by her side ever. She never had no Tom Cruise by her side, or she never had one of them motherfuckers, no Vince Vaughn or none of them shits. She never had them. Oh, they gave her what's that dude? Billy. They gave her Billy Bob. She had to fuck Billy Bob Thornton. Like Halle Berry was fine as shit, and she had to fuck Billy Bob Thornton in the movie. That was the best A-list actor that they can give her. But like I said, most of her leading men that she ever acted with was always a white dude. It was always a white dude. The most majority of her cast in most of her movies were white because her audience, that's who she appealed to. I mean, we loved her, but that's who they were selling her to. Julia Roberts, Angelina Jolie, Drew Barrymore, Kate Hudson, all of them. Julia Roberts again. Julia Roberts four times. That's what I'm saying. They're really trying to push a point with Julia Roberts in regards to her imagery. They were really trying to push a point about her. Jennifer Lopez, they gave it to her. Beyonce, they gave it to her in 2012. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, motherfuckers think I'm supposed to be cool with that shit. Halle Berry and Beyonce, and I'm supposed to be cool, huh? Out of the 30 here, okay, Lupita Nyong'o, there's three out of the 30. Sandra Bullock, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts. So, like I said, man, the motherfuckers want to wonder why um, I'm saying what I'm saying is because I'm looking at this imagery here. And growing up, I used to watch all these people. I used to watch all these people growing up. These are the shows that were on TV. There wasn't nothing else. It was this or some other shit that was theirs. That's the only thing that was on TV. These are the women that we would idolize and infatuate because that's who you want at the end of these movies, you know. So, like I said, that these type of these type of images, they definitely have an influence in regards to your perception and how you deem the rest of the world and the people that are in it. If you see a certain type of imagery of a certain type of person, if you always see black people in gangster, roles and troublesome roles and savagery, then anytime you approach a black person, that's what you're gonna fucking perceive because that's what you grow up watching or you seeing. That's what you're gonna perceive. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we have to understand that. So the lack of something is also what you will not perceive and perceive, right? So the lack of diversity is what you don't see. So then now you will see things one-sided. You will start favoring certain things just because you've been nurtured to look at things in a certain way. You have been nurtured to perceive something as pleasure to you and as something as a reward when in all actuality you didn't have a choice to begin with. what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to say I had a fair choice in regards to what I like, and what I favor, what I prefer, when when I don't get to see the other side of things, when I don't get to see the other options. It's hard to say that you you pick something. It's hard to say you pick something wholeheartedly when you didn't get to see the other options. It's hard. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that. If I feel like if I saw more Lisa Turtles growing up on TV, I feel like I'd had more of a balanced option. You see what I'm saying? I feel like if I saw more Ginas and Pams growing up on TV, I feel like I'd have more of a balanced option. If they had a Beverly Hills 90210 for us growing up, I feel like I'd have a better option. If they would have had a black Saved by the Bell, you know what I mean? Like, I remember Different World. That shit was dope. But like when I was watching Different World, my older sisters and brothers were watching that shit. So it's like I was too young to watch Different World. So when I watched that, you know what I'm saying, the girls were grown as fuck. I mean, they were fine as shit, don't get me wrong. I remember there was that the one light skinned one and the dark skinned chick, bro. She was bad. Oh, and then old girl from Living Single was on there too. Yeah, that was a good show. And oh, and then what's her name? The lady with the crazy voice, Dwayne Wayne's girl. She was on it too. She was bad, but still, it's like she. So I'm saying it's like everybody kind of liked her just because she was light skinned. You know, it's crazy. It's like I used to like Gina and Martin. Then when I got older, I started like Pam. I said, God damn, Pam was ready to find one in this motherfucker. Pam was cold blooded, and I was asleep on Pam because I was too busy looking at the goddamn red bone on set. You know, because that shit was deemed more. I don't know. You know, it was more of an exotic thing. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but like I said, I know it fucked with me. I know that much. I know that much. And I know I'm not the only one. So that's why I did this video. Just because I'm trying to show y'all how indoctrinated and how deep this thing is in regards to colonizing, maintaining the supremacy and the systematic oppression. And that's through politics, that's through academics, that's through entertainment, and every level of society, because that's the only way they can maintain, like I said, maintain that control in perception and what you should like, what you should deem cool, what you should deem safe. I mean, if you think about it too, look at hip hop, like how the most, like even like right now, a lot of the real famous hip hop dudes that are getting money and get a lot of notoriety, it's still the same stereotypical fucking hip hop dude. He's a gangster. He's in and out of jail. He's toting guns. He's getting into fights. It's still the same fucking stereotypical dude. Why? Is because that's what they would rather show, right? They don't want to show you, um, the motherfucking Kendricks, right? They barely show you goddamn Kendrick. Even Kendrick, they barely show. They don't want to show you the J. Cole's. They don't. They don't show you. They don't talk about J. Cole all goddamn day. Why? Is because he's too positive. What they want to talk about, what they rather sell you, is the ex-existentials who's running around acting a goddamn fool. They'd rather sell you the Bobby Schmurders because he's going to jail. That's what they'd rather sell you, and that's what's selling. You see what I'm saying? The Rondo number nines, the Rico Reckless, all these motherfuckers are in and out of jail, but they're the ones that are getting the notoriety. Why? Is because that's what they want you to like. They don't want you to like the J. Cole's and everybody else. They don't, because they don't push them like they push the Rico Recklesses and all these other fucks. Even, you know what I'm saying? It's like even Soldier Boy, they were milking the shit out of that weirdo. They don't want you to pay attention to J. Cole, because J. Cole will make you pay attention to other things. They don't want you to pay attention to the Kendrick Lamar's, because Kendrick Lamar will make you pay attention to other things. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like when you watch TV, that's why you see Tyrese there all day. You don't see the positive shit that real black men are doing out there, is because that's the perception they don't want you to see. And if you do see it, you'll see little pockets of it, right? You see pockets of it. But you don't see the full force media pushing it, encouraging it. You don't see record labels encouraging that type of rap. You see record labels encouraging the drill music. That's what they encourage. And then before the drill music, it was the gangster shit with the Snoops and the Death Rows. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's what the fuck they want. They don't want us talking about consciousness and health and economic wealth, political strength, political stability. They don't want us to talk about shit like that. That would be corny, right? Nobody would want to buy that shit. They don't want to even try to push that. At least even try to push that. I don't want to try to push that shit. That's why conscious rappers or the Talib Kweli's and all the motherfuckers, that's why all the motherfuckers die out. So, they die out. Is because they're not, they're teaching y'all something. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want y'all to keep learning from Excess Extension on how to be a black person and how to perceive black people. That's what they want. They want you to see him as an example of us. That's why they let all that bullshit go and run around, in regards to the commercializing of them. You see what I'm saying? The radios push it, podcasts, you fucking name it. They're all pushing the shit. So understand that what you see on your TV, it's only there to sway you one way or the other. That's it. That's it. It damn sure ain't there to help you. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I just want y'all to be aware. At least if y'all didn't notice these things, at least now y'all know now. If you think about it now, next time you watch TV, start from the bottom. Like, go to, start on channel 4. Do you see shit that looks like you? And if you do you see a lot of shit that looks like you? And then you understand what I'm saying? Or if you do look like me, do you see a lot of TV shows with people that look like you? Is there only just one of them in the fucking corner that looks like you? Understanding if it is, because that's telling you who they want to watch. They only just want a few of y'all to watch, the majority of them to fucking watch. So understand what's for you and what's not for you. Understand what's marketed for you and towards you, and they appreciate your viewership, and what's just marketed towards you to show you a certain way of a certain imagery of your people and a certain perspective of your people, indirectly and directly, consciously and subconsciously. Because like I said, if you want to assume that these people do not strategically, grab certain actors, do not strategically, use certain type of color schemes to affect your psyche. If you don't think all these strategies are not implemented, like I said, then you're very far behind. You're very far behind, because that's all these things are. When you watch a goddamn commercial, from every color, every word, every sound is orchestrated and strategically placed to affect your mood from to 1 minute into one way and all the way to another. That's the only reason why it's there. So y'all think about what I'm saying, and I'm gonna come with some more of the effects of white supremacy. This, I was just touching on imagery, and the most powerful weapon that has ever been used is the propaganda TV, the propaganda monster, the TV, the television. So that's what it is, folks. Hey, I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Subscribe. Peace.